Hello everybody, it's Fufu here and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be counting down the top 5 bulkiest Pokemon in terms of their special defense. This is actually a part 2 video to my part 1, which is the top 5 bulkiest Pokemon in terms of their physical defense. So go and check that video out if you haven't seen that one already. I will of course only be considering the new Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon and the Alolan Pokemon as per the title for this video. Again, I'm going to quickly go over the rules for this video. If you're not interested in that, if you just want the countdown, there'll be a time link in the description which you can click on and just skip straight to the countdown. So for those interested, the incoming attack for this video is actually going to be a bit more powerful than the previous video, and that's because the Pokemon tend to be bulkier, which is for a reason I'll go into in a second. So the incoming attack is going to be a Corkscrew Crash from a fully invested special attack Jirachi, and that's based off its Doom Desire attack, so it's based 200 power off a max special attack Jirachi with a neutral nature. Again, typing is not going to be considered in this video, so we're just looking at all Pokemon on a level playing field in terms of typing to find out what's the bulkiest Pokemon. Obviously this isn't simulating a real battle, and the winner of this list may well not be the best especially defensive wall, but we're not looking for that today. We're just looking for the bulkiest Pokemon in terms of their stats and how much damage they can take. And in terms of the calculations, all Pokemon were calculated with max HP and max special defense with a positive nature. So just before we get into this list, let me know any predictions that you have in the comment section below, what you think might make the list and what you think it will be close. I'd be really interested to hear before we get into it. Just one important thing to note before going into this list: you may think there are some really bulky Eviolite Pokemon, but you have to consider that actually, in terms of special defense, there's the Assault Vest item, which will give exactly the same boost as a Eviolite would give, and any Pokemon can hold that item. So a lot of the full evolutions which have higher special defense, higher HP, can outperform those Eviolite Pokemon because they can get the same boost. So this is actually a very different list to my previous video, which is very exciting for me. Number 5. In at number 5 is Alolan Muck. This actually may well not come as a surprise to a lot of people, as Alolan Muck has seen quite a bit of competitive usage, and it's used as a switch in on some very powerful psychic and fairy types. It can tank those special hits and then threaten them out. Alolan Muck has very nice HP stat with 105 HP and a very nice base special defense stat with 100 special defense. So both stats are looking pretty strong there, and it can really tank those hits very well. Number 4. In at number 4 is a very bulky Pokemon, and that is Tapu Fini. We all know that this Pokemon can take a lot of hits. It has a relatively average HP stat at 70, but a huge special defense stat at base 130, which really allows it to take on those special attackers very well. What's also nice about this Pokemon is it does get that Misty Terrain ability, so in battle it works very well as a defensive Pokemon because it can avoid being toxicked and can take those hits easily. Number 3. In at number 3 we are seeing Guzzlord. Now this is a really interesting entry in my opinion because Guzzlord only has base 53 special defense, but where it really shines is its massive 223 HP. This means that in terms of percentage of its HP lost per attack, it's actually quite a small percentage, and that's what I was basing this list off. It's percentage lost, not absolute damage in terms of their special defense stat. So because of Guzzlord's massive HP stat, it actually becomes quite a good special defensive tank. Number 2. In at number 2, we see one of the cover legendaries in Lunala. Lunala has very good HP at 137 and a very good special defense stat at base 107 too. So this Pokemon obviously is going to perform well because both those stats are above 100. They're very strong, and it can tank hits all day. Again, it has a nice ability to complement that. It's called Shadow Shield, and it means that the first hit that it takes will only do 50% of damage. So it can tank those hits even easier with that ability. Lunala is also spared the embarrassment of Solgaleo from my previous list. Solgaleo was actually outperformed by Cosmoem in terms of defense because Cosmoem can hold the Eviolite, but because Lunala can hold that Assault Vest, it can outperform Cosmoem and just be better than its pre-evolution. So before we get to the number 1 spot, I think it's really good to look at some honorable mentions that you may think are missing from this list. So very close to this list is maybe something that would get overlooked, and that is Oranguru. Oranguru has a nice HP stat and a really nice special defense stat. Combined, it works really well, and he is a very specially defensive Pokemon. Another Pokemon that's known more for its offense rather than its defense, is Araquanid. It has only base 68 HP but a big 132 special defense, so Araquanid comes very close to making this list. We've got a couple of steel types that almost made it too in Celesteela and Magearna, and also the starter Primarina, which has a good special defense stat too. I'm going to speak quickly now about Toxapex that made neither my defensive list or my specially defensive list. Now this Pokemon does have very good defensive stats, but its HP lets it down quite a bit, so it doesn't compete with the Pokemon that have high HP stats that make it onto these lists. That's not to say Toxapex doesn't take hits very well, because it does take hits very well, but what's really great about it and what makes it amazing in battle as a wall is that it gets access to recover and also the ability regenerator, and that just makes it very hard to take down because it just keeps getting all that health back. It takes a hit, doesn't take too much damage, but it recovers it all eventually. So that's why that Pokemon doesn't quite make it on the lists, but it's very effective competitively. Number 1. But in at number 1 we have another Ultra Beast, and that is Nihilego. It has 109 base HP and 131 base special defense, and this allows it to just slightly pip Lunala to the post and outperforms it. It's really tanky on that special side and does very well. But also it's really important to note that it's only got base 47 defense. Like Buzzwole on the previous list, it's very good at one defensive side but super frail on the other one, so you have to be really careful not to let it get hit by physical attacks. I find that really interesting, and it means that you have to play your Pokemon very carefully, and it just goes to show why I thought it was important to split these lists up. Otherwise we wouldn't see Nihilego and Buzzwole doing so well. So there you have it, that is my list of the top 5 bulkiest Pokemon in terms of their special defense. Let me know if any of your favorites made it, or if you just could predict the whole list and knew everything that was going to happen. I'm really eager to interact with you guys in the comment section as always. All that's left to be said is I've been Fufu, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.